And on that day, her shadow guided her out of the valley. You are worth every challenge that you meet in your life. Always remember that. In the moments where it feels too overwhelming one way or the other, it is so important to remind yourself to do what you can, when you can, with what you have. In that way, you are taking it one step at a time. You are living in the moment. And when you look back, you will be amazed at how far you have come. It has been some time since I have been to this spot. When I arrived today, there's actually a sign at the front of the road saying it is close to traffic. So I'm just going to walk down, and as I do, I'm going to record so that we can see the space. For the remainder of this riveting 16 minute full-length film, I will be walking you through the space that I originally went to when I started this channel. The sarcasm that you note in my voice is because I am taking this time right now to fully acknowledge the majority of what unfolds in the rest of this video may predominantly be important to just one person in this world, and that person is probably me. The reason, however, that I am choosing to share it with this community in this way is because I have found over the last few years, very specifically, that my particular way of connecting and integrating experiences in life is helpful to other people. So that is the invitation for the rest of this video. I will point out very briefly before I roll you into the events as they unfolded on the morning that I arrived at this location, that what you see in this experience is a lot of my protective mind. So the states of being where I am the most free and the most connected only arrive when I am certain about certain things in my environment. And this is a thing that most people experience, whether it be the way that we feel judged by others or the expectations of employment, workplace, to financial dynamics. There are so many environments and situations in our life where the part of our brain that wants to protect us and to control the environment is a little hyper-vigilant about what could possibly be coming. So the reason I want to tell you this now is because emotionally, in my mind, in my heart, I was very much looking forward to this morning arriving at this location, and I felt like it was going to unfold much more magically. The fact that the road was closed when I first arrived was the literal first roadblock that started to turn my protective brain on. The second thing that happened, as you will see, is there were some vehicles parked. So if I am now aware that there are vehicles in the area, but I haven't seen people, where are these people? What are they doing? And how is this going to impact what it is that I am doing and wanting to share? So keep that in mind as you watch, if you continue to watch. And I personally think it is important to watch the whole thing, because what it also illustrates is that our obstacles are genuinely some of the best experiences in our life. The best moments of the video actually happen at the very end. So, if you would like to keep watching, sit back and relax. If not, thanks for watching this far. Okay, one final note about this particular video. The phrase that you heard at the beginning is a mantra that I realized in my life and adopted as a way of being, because it literally was the only way that I could get through some of the most challenging moments in my personal life to date. It is a very abstract concept when people tell you to do your best, because it is subjective. So it's always changing. Your environment is always changing. You are always changing. And when things become so obscure, it is very, very hard to tie into something tangible that feels actionable. This video, I am releasing it because it is necessary for the videos that are down the line in the workflow. And the reason this part of the clip is coming in is because there's a part of me that had delayed this video, because in my mind, my vision for the story, I wanted it to be so much more cinematic and so much more engaging in a very collective, integrated way. And I am at a place where I simply do not have the resources or the ability to do that. So, going back to my own mantra and the idea that the way forward is always to do what I can, when I can, with what I have, means that this story, this piece of the story, is being presented in this quality, because the next steps coming through need to keep moving, and that is also important. So that was very... My brain is very thinking right now. And the jets are flying. Okay. That is everything. Now I'm going to bring you back to the morning of November 5th, 2023, as I walked into the area that I did the majority of my readings during the time that this channel first launched. I'm just going to walk down, and as I do, I'm going to record so that we can see the space. I will say already though, so it's been a couple of years, and the surrounding area that brings you in has recovered so much from the fire. So, and basically just, there is now, I'll flip the camera so you can see, but basically now you can see more foliage, and there's actually ground cover. And there are lots of yuccas. I just scared a bunch of quails. I think they were quails. Could be wrong. But yeah, for this area, this is really dense looking compared to how it was when I first discovered it. And there goes a raven. And I will just say out loud too that I don't have a gimbal to hold the device that I use for recording, and that results in a very shaky view when I am not paying attention to engaging my core and walking properly. They are quails. Good morning, guys. Good morning. Do you hear them? So that's a sign to me that I just need to slow down and be a little more gentle as I come in to this space. I'm just really excited to be back here. As I had mentioned before, it's a space that really... I'll change the orientation of the camera and then I'll continue. It's a space that, for me, really provided a lot of healing in my journey. And what that means is that you ask any other person on this planet if this place is magical or if it's beautiful or if it holds significance, and their answer is probably going to be no. But the cool thing about that, what that means is that the magic really is within you. It's your ability to connect and to see what is available, to see what is being, what lessons, what messages are being provided to you. Provided to you by the earth. I love how much activity is in here. I'm laughing, but they're probably not. They're like, what is this? What is this crazy human doing? So back to what I was saying earlier about the gimbal. One of the reasons I choose not to use it is because being able to maintain a relatively steady camera angle is part of how I check and make sure that I am engaging my body properly. One of the things that my injury taught me is how much I was bypassing my core, how much I was not engaging my core in my everyday life. And this is probably before the injuries happened even. But so I know that that attribute means that the stuff I produce is not as cinematic but I do think that's part of the value. So I'm stopping right here because this is the location that I did the Beltane video at when there had been just, I think, 1 year of development, and now we're at, I think, 3 years. It might even be 4. But this whole area has just come back to life. You can't even see the stream from here. But those rocks on the far side, that hill, I had climbed over there one day. And the thing is, when the land was open and it was easy to climb over there, I was able to do that, and with relative ease. So it made me appreciate that those obstacles had been removed. Oh, there's just so much life here now. So it says the road is closed, but there's vehicles down here. So I'm about to have an interesting experience, I think. But we'll see what happens. It definitely seems like this spot is not available for the everyday person the way that it had been when I was coming here. Or those are people who are just, I don't know, we'll find out. And that section down there, I had walked down there and done some readings. I wouldn't be able to get down there now without some difficulty. But in this way, I feel like this teaches us about obstacles. What is an obstacle sometimes is an opening in other situations. The whole area is just so full now. I'm wondering if the road washed out and that's why it's closed. Aww. There's a video where I took that snapped limb, trunk. I was here before that happened, and then right after it happened. Okay. So it is closed because the road did wash out. And this is the spot where one of the trees fell just before I left as well. It was quite emotional for me. But at that draw. I used to walk up in there and do a bunch of readings as well. I may still go in there. We'll see what happens. So this is the area look at those guys. But looks like they are making efforts to refortify this and get it going. So, there is our tree that fell just before I left. And I did readings at some of those rocks. But this is what has happened to our bridge over time. Back to the valley. Back to the valley. Yeah, there is so much growth. So much growth. So I was saying earlier a couple of things about why this space was important to me. And I really think, a lot of I was coming out because I was not doing well. And this area had just had the fires come through and clear out everything. So when I got here, it was just very barren and very open. I didn't know the land in this capacity. So in that way, it's probably a bit significant to me and or emotional because I myself have changed and grown, and to see the life reflected on this land feels very similar to the life reflected in my own body, in my own capability to thrive, to weather the storm. And so that is the biggest teaching point for you as a person watching this story or engaging with this story. Things come and they go. Cycles are part of living. They are part of dying. And the experience of life is about harmonizing these different cycles so that we're not succumbed by one at the complete expense of the other. So this is the sun rising on the morning of November 5th, 2023. And that is the spot right there on the right where I normally would have parked. And then I would have gotten out and I would have walked around. Sometimes it was up in those hills. Sometimes it was back through the area that I just showed you. And sometimes it was dipping down into this valley to pick a spot. But everything has just, some readings even were done at that tree right there. So the question now is, where am I going to go to play some flutes? You are worth every challenge that you meet in your life. Always remember that. In the moments where it feels too overwhelming one way or the other, it is so important to remind yourself to do what you can, when you can, with what you have. In that way, you are taking it one step at a time. You are living in the moment. And when you look back, you will be amazed at how far you have come.
Deep in the shadows, I know it's hard to put one foot in front of the other. So far is the echo, where do we start? You can learn to discover a million stars. Here in the shadows, I know you're scared. Take my hand, together we'll make a stand. We've got to fight to find a way. Dare to fall to find out what to say. No more hate. Just admit that you're just afraid. Time to let go of all your fears and pride. Stand up beside me, don't you hide. We can build a better place. If we can just find a way, then we can live a better day. Rise from the ashes, from the anger, from the war. Let's come together, lift your spirit for the cause. We should be equal, should be living free. All together, one and all, let's build a dream. Just admit that you're just afraid. Let go of all your fears and pride. Stand up beside me, don't you hide. We can build a better place. If we can just find a way, then we can live a better day. Then we can live a better day. From the anger, from the war. Let's come together, lift your spirit for the cause. We should be equal, should be living free. All together, one and all. All together, one and all. All together, one and all. Let's live a better day.